Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today's episode is about music and photography. It's one I'm super excited to share with you. It's on how music inspires me as a photographer. So I've got a couple of records I've picked out. I'm going to go through them with you and talk about how they inspire me and my photography and what they mean to me. Music is something that's been a constant in my whole life, and it's really important to me. And I'm really excited to share this side of myself with you guys. I know this is a photography channel, but I'm going to be focusing on vinyl records, which is analog, and this channel is about anything analog. So let's jump straight into the first record. So first up is Brian Eno. I'm just going to start by saying I'm a huge Brian Eno fan, and I could pretty much do a whole episode on Eno. He is like a creative powerhouse. He's amazing to listen to, like musically, speaking, just everything. He's really cool, and yeah, I'll try not to ramble on too much about Eno. But the first record is Another Green World. I think this is the third studio album. It's a 1975 release. This is a Japanese like repressing from 1977, I think. Yeah, the cover alone is enough to get you like inspired. It's an excerpt from a painting by a British artist called Tom Phillips. The painting's titled After Raphael. So yeah, Google that one and have a look. It's really beautiful. He's, yeah, just one of those people that's constantly creating, kind of like David Lynch. Like I can't imagine that he ever shuts off. This record sort of goes more into his, or leads more into his ambient work. So like music for airports and Apollo and all of that sort of stuff. It's, yeah, got a lot of analog synths, less lyrics than the previous albums, like Here Come the Warm Jets and Taking Tiger Mountain. It's also featured Phil Collins on drums. I don't actually like Phil Collins, but yeah, it's a cool little Eno fact. But anyway, moving on to how it ties in with my photography, it's really good to listen to ambient music or music that doesn't have any lyrics. I think when you're taking photos, and I really enjoy walking around, having my headphones on and just taking photos, getting lost in what I'm listening to. And I feel like that really kind of gets you like in your own world and just forgetting about everything, and you can just focus on the photos that you want to take, because you know you're not like listening to like lyrics or someone singing. So yeah, I would recommend Golden Hours, which is very aptly named for photography. That's a really beautiful song on there, and I'll Come Running as well is another standout track for me. It's got these beautiful rolling like piano sounds. So yeah, if you're unaware of Eno, yeah, Google him. There's a great documentary on YouTube by BBC called Another Green World. Yeah, and he's just someone who will inspire you to do many, many things. Before I move on from Eno, I also have something else I want to show you guys. He created these set of cards called Oblique Strategies. So it was him and Peter Schmidt, and they are sort of like flashcard prompts to kind of fight your creative like block or get out of a rut, or I'm always terrible at opening things on this channel and putting them back, but we'll just give it a go. So yeah, as an example, like emphasize the flaws. So they just sort of have little phrases on them, and you can use them if you're sort of stuck with something. I think he made them mainly for like music. So if you're in the studio recording an album, like I think there's one that says like you know, start from the end or something like that. So he's really good in that way. To me he's super similar to David Lynch, you know, like you just listen to them talk and you're just like, wow, like you are I feel like the word inspiring gets thrown around a lot, but Eno is like so inspiring. Yeah, basically I just love Brian Eno so much. But yeah, listen to Another Green World and take photos. Okay, so next record or records, something I've talked about a lot on the channel, Smashing Pumpkins, and I have connected with a few other super fans since starting the channel, which I'm like really grateful for because I'm a total like nerd. Yeah, so I've got Gish by Smashing Pumpkins, which was the first studio album, and then I also have Siamese Dream, which was the second one. I don't have Melancholy. I'm a huge fan of that too, but it's like $180. So yeah, in time. But I think these two in particular, again, like the covers are really awesome, and that's what's so good about buying vinyl. Like kind of how we talk about printing your photographs is really important because you can hold them and see them. Same goes for listening to records. Totally different to clicking on something on Spotify. You can like hold it, especially when you get something that's like, you know, a gatefold vinyl like this. You can, you know, like look inside, like often the lyrics are there. There'll just be other information and cool things that you read or find, or you'll get like an insert as well. I think I've taken it out and put it on the wall already, but yeah, buying vinyl is the best. Those Smashing Pumpkins were super important to me as a teenager, as I'm sure they are for a lot of you watching as well. In particular, their video clips. I had the DVD of all their videos, and I used to have a Rage tape. Anyone watching in Australia will know what Rage is. It's kind of like MTV. They used to just play video clips and have like presenters on to pick music. And yeah, I remember like taping like Rage, and they'd have all of the Smashing Pumpkins like videos on there. So those really shaped like visually what I thought was what I thought was cool, or what I thought like looked cool, and had a really big impact on me. In specific, Cherub Rock, the video clip, which was actually all shot on Super 8 film, and they then like cross-processed it in development, and it gave it this really sort of distorted, cool look. And it features a lot of purples, yellows, like oranges, like all those sort of colors that I really think of as the Smashing Pumpkins colors. And I really like when a band or an artist or a photographer has like a distinct style where you look at it and you know that it's theirs. That's always what I'm sort of aiming for in my work. Yeah, so Cherub Rock is really cool, and Rhinoceros as well. That video clip has like a cool sort of like bluey cast to it. 1979 is another video clip of theirs that's really awesome. It's sort of evokes that teen, like bored teen in the suburbs, like, you know, driving with the windows down, like when they jump in the pool. Kind of reminds me of like the movie Kids. Yeah, just I remember seeing that when I was like 12 or something, and I was just like, wow, that's so cool. I can't wait to be a teenager. Yeah, so Smashing Pumpkins, definitely a huge band for me, along with a lot of other 90s bands. But yeah, they just have a really cool look, and I think Billy Corgan was someone who was very particular about what he wanted things to look like, sound like. You know, he was quite sort of controlling, but yeah, made for beautiful music. So I just want to quickly share this with you guys. It's not mine, it's my partner's. I don't play guitar, but he makes all the music for the channel, so I think it's really cool. So it's Billy used the original pedal on Siamese Dream, and then this is a reissue. So yeah, it wasn't a very popular pedal at the time when he used it, but it contributes hugely to the sound that's on Siamese Dream. So yeah, and then obviously when everyone found that out, it became more popular and more expensive, which I guess you can kind of liken to a lot of cameras, like, you know, Terry Richardson using like the T4, and then it becomes really expensive, or less cool, Kendall Jenner using a Contax T2 and then ruining it for everyone. But yeah, anyway, big muff, very cool. The pedal guy. JHS pedals, yeah. Okay, so if you can't tell by the like huge dumb smile on my face, this is probably my favorite album of all time, Best Coast Crazy for You. It came out in 2010, so I was 18, and it was summer, and it just was the best summer of my life. It's a perfect album, start to finish. It's everything I want in an album. All of their other albums suck, unfortunately. It's, if you haven't heard it, it's like, you know, dreamy, beachy, girly, just, yeah, very kind of reminds me of, it's kind of like the Ramones, but without the like punk element. But really, when you break it down, it really does, to me, it sounds like the Ramones. You know, it's like 3 chords, like boppy kind of lyrics about, teen troubles sort of thing. It also has a real sort of Pet Sounds vibe to me, like the Beach Boys Pet Sounds, where the music's really like appears really happy and like dreamy and free and, summery. But then when you actually listen to the lyrics, it's kind of depressing and morose. And I really like that juxtaposition of those two things. So, it came out on Mexican Summer, I'm pretty sure, the label, which is super cool. I don't know if they're still around anymore. I'm a bit out of the loop recently with like new music. But yeah, it's so good. The cover's super cool. I love Best Coast so much so that I got it tattooed on my arm when I was 18. The love heart has faded and needs to be redone. But yeah, I love Best Coast. But anyway, how they inspire me and my photography, because this isn't a record channel, I think that I have a real sort of love affair with LA. I've spoken about this a little bit on the channel, and palm trees and the beach and the sun and all that sort of stuff. And as I said before, it looks really similar on the Gold Coast to LA. And this is putting this record on and listening to it is the closest you can get to LA without leaving like your bedroom or your living room. So it just makes me want to go shoot the photos that I shoot. Like it doesn't particularly make me want to break out of my comfort zone or anything like Eno would. It just makes me want to like do what I do best, I guess. And it just makes me super pumped to like go outside and get fresh air and some sunshine and just like take my camera and just like, snap away. It's just super fun, It's a great album. So the fourth record and the final record is actually a soundtrack to the movie 20th Century Women. Just a word on the movie. It's directed by Mike Mills, who also directed Beginners, which is a really great film. And he just recently did, well, not recently, it was a little while ago now, but he did a movie with The National. I don't really like The National, but yeah, it's beautifully shot in black and white, and it was sort of to go with their album. So yeah, it was really cool. Mike Mills, if you don't know who he is or you haven't seen any of his films, he is he's a director, music video director. He's a graphic kind of artist. He did the Air Moon Safari album cover, which is like super iconic, and that's a great album. He also did the Sonic Youth washing machine like logo that's on the t-shirts on the record. He's just a super cool guy, but he's really down to earth. He's responsible for a lot of things. He's in this documentary called Beautiful Losers. If you haven't seen that, seek it out. It's got it's got him. It's got like Ed Templeton, heaps of other like skateboarders and just creators like Aaron Rose and stuff. And it just sort of goes through that time in New York. And Mike Mills is on there, and he talks about like growing up in Sacramento, which is where this movie's set. So it's kind of an biographical film. The film in general is really great. It's shot extremely well, as you can probably see just from some of the stills on the front here. And there's also a Nikon, I think it's a Nikon F, I'm pretty sure. But if anyone wants to comment below and let me know. It's the film has an amazing cast, and Greta Gerwig, who I could also make an episode about Greta Gerwig, but I'll just leave that. Her character's really cool, and she uses that camera to take photos in the film. And the main character, who's sort of based on Mike Mills, he's like a skateboarder, and he's just discovering like, Black Flag and like going to shows and like girls and like drinking and smoking and, it's just a really cool coming of age kind of story, and so many cool like pop culture references, which I love. I'm like a constant reference person. I saw it maybe 3 or 4 times at the cinemas. And then the soundtrack is just amazing. So like side 1 is all like punk and like post-punk and stuff like that. And then the second side is all like Louis Armstrong and music that Mike Mills' mum listened to. So it's like different eras on different sides. And yeah, like the first side is just like so banging, like Talking Heads, The Raincoats, Germs, Suicide, David Bowie, Devo, Talking Heads, like, oh my God, killer, so good. Yeah, and I think watching the movie so many times, I then got the soundtrack, and when I listen to the soundtrack, I'm just like, oh my God, I feel super, super inspired and like nostalgic for like my youth. And this movie really reminds me, and the soundtrack really reminds me of what it was like to first discover all of those things, like music, photography, like cinema, like, you know, just all those things that make you, you know, who you are. And I think listening to this, yeah, gets me really pumped to take photos. And Mike Mills is also a really inspiring person. He's a really great director, both like visually and like cinematography and like storytelling. So yeah, I like finding people who do lots of different things, and then that helps me to kind of get everything that I like all together, and then create something like from that, if that makes sense. So if you haven't seen the movie, watch the movie. If you don't know about Mike Mills, research him. And if you like all those bands, please buy this soundtrack. It is so, so good. I think there's a lot of channels on YouTube that are, you know, about film photography, and I really want to make this one different and kind of diversify the content a little bit. So making it more about, yeah, what inspires me, me as a person, bringing in other forms of, you know, analog things to share with you guys. So if that's something that you're into and you'd like to see more of, please comment below and let me know. I'm coming up on 1,000 subscribers, which is like amazing. I can't believe it. So thank you so much to everyone who's been watching and commenting and subscribing. I'm super stoked, and I love making videos for you guys. So yeah, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.